There we go.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bridge Call. Welcome. Welcome, Danny. How are you doing tonight?
Awesome. Love to see everybody here today on this wintry day. Good to see everyone. Well, some except for Helen. It's another story.
So today
Right.
is
It's good.
January 24th, 2024.
Wow.
And it's
One,
full
two,
moon.
four, 2, 4.
Full moon
A twofer.
tomorrow. We're going into a
Sorry?
full moon tomorrow.
Says today.
Said today, well. So,
Don't
yeah, we're in high
don't we
energy
have a full
again.
moon in the next couple of days?
Well, I think it's Thursday night,
That's
25th.
tomorrow then. I thought it was Friday, but yeah, we got a full moon coming.
So the energies of a full moon starts a few days prior and you still feel it a few days after.
Yeah.
So
Couple of days
I
after, yeah.
I woke up in the middle of the night. My bed is this way and I was sleeping this way. So
Picture froze.
so I had quite the evening.
Really.
I don't know what. But that's how I used to sleep when I was a
That'll be
kid.
fun.
Just be all over the
What?
bed. So I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
were you?
wow, I am like across the bed tonight. All right. And I was like, oh well,
That's
this is where
okay.
I am. This is where I stay. So I
Mhm.
just say, just buckle up is all I'm saying. Buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't have really any topic. It's just the last week we had a committed versus addicted, and then I got some more emails from people, and then it was
Mhm.
more. I don't know if Bentinho, if anybody has ever listened to Bentinho. He's a young guy. He also when you listen to him, he sounds very full of wisdom and stuff, very wise. And years ago, I went and saw him live in Sedona, and I couldn't figure out because the information he was getting, it was there was not one entity coming through per se. It wasn't one
Okay.
stream, okay? And so when I asked Franco about that, I said, I'm not able to grasp what he's connecting his information to. He says he's actually channeling the collective, a higher level collective, right? Not,
No, an
specific or
individual.
being or whatever. So it was interesting when I got that. I went, oh, okay, so that makes sense because it was just like all over the place, but really great information, very straight up and stuff. And when you go to his events, you really find your people there.
Yes.
Like the stories, okay? You're like, I just thought, like, when you're not telling anybody your stuff and then they're telling you stuff that's off the charts. So it was good to be there.
Interesting.
He's got a pretty excellent group following him, but he was speaking about being we get addicted to seeking. We get addicted to seeking, chasing that high you get when you're connected to source. And then when you get a taste of it,
Okay.
you want more.
Yeah.
So he was explaining the difference between being addicted to as a seeker versus chasing, that home feeling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting too, because, when you're just grabbing any book you can get or any seminar or any teacher, to just, you want to hang on to them and never let them go. When you think you finally got the one that's going to tell you all the answers,
Mhm.
you know, there's that side in you that's almost like an addict, you know, searching for that specific teacher or that specific download or
Right.
whatever. And so he's like, yeah, there's an enthusiastic side to it while you're seeking source, while you're seeking your higher self. And so it was an interesting twist on what he was saying. I thought he would have gotten more into the addictive side to it, but he went more into who you be as a seeker of truth, a seeker of wisdom, a seeker of who you are as source, who you are as a higher being. And yeah, so I was just wanted to put it out there because we can get a little tripped up because the ego is really is a trickster, right? And it's like, oh yeah, you're on the right path, keep going, you know, another 5 books, it'll get you there, right? And
Mhm.
we used to have Franco like on speed dial. It'd be like, oh my God, I have to call Franco about this. It was like, Lucy, and he'd always say, Lucy, you have the answers. You already have the answers. You already have the answers. And I'm like, no, I don't. That's why I'm
You
calling
do.
you all the time. And it would get like, I look like a little starving child that hasn't had enough food. Like, what's going on? So I had to just like, okay, calm down and start, you know, wearing my big pants, my big girl pants, and knowing that, you know, I do have the answers, but I was so like, you know, in the
Mhm.
can't get enough stage, which is basically an addictive side of it. But thank God it was
Mhm.
that information, the truth, the higher self, the addicted to that side, so I could eventually just calm down and relax once I got my fill, which only took like, I don't know,
Mhm.
10 years because it's like I have this insatiable appetite. Yeah, I just wanted to know everything. And then after a while, he'd be like, I said, well, why is this and why is that? And how come that happens? And no. Because he could tell you all kinds of stuff that you could not even get your head around. And he goes, why do you need to know? I go, well, what do you mean? Why do I need to know? You got to know. He goes, but why? And I go, well, I have to know to better understand so I can better help people. He's like, okay, well, but why do you need to know that? And then I just kept drilling down to the point where it's like, yeah, who needs to know and why does, you know, why do I need to know so bad? And who really needs to know? You know, because now I'm not even tapping into my heart. I'm busy dissecting information, trying to get more information.
Outside of yourself.
Inquiring mind wants to know, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know about you, but when I went through the self-development stage, I couldn't get
Mhm.
enough books in me. Self-help, self-development. And then I became constipated with self-development. Like I was excited, enthusiastic, positive about everything.
Okay.
I
Meanwhile,
I call that I call that plateauing, not constipated.
plateauing. Meanwhile, inside I was like a time bomb ready to go off, right?
What'd you call it?
Plateauing. Because you've
Yeah.
absorbed, and now you have to integrate everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's what I'm still doing, 3 books a week.
True.
Well, that you take a break from a novel, right? Not me. I was all self-development, like
Wow.
know how to
Yeah.
this, how to that. So anyways,
Mhm.
when I did get when I ended up in recovery though, it finally gave me permission to tap into the time bomb that was wanting to go off so that I could literally get
Mhm.
real with myself, right? Because when you read so much how to be positive, how to have a mental, you know, positive mental attitude and psychology of winning and everything, magic of thinking big, how to influence, um, you don't tap into real what's really going on. You just become this, hey, life is great.
Mhm.
Now it's
The
making
treadmill.
sense, Lucy.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I never went through that, so I didn't understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I became this, like, life is great, everything's great, you know, and so I had to like let it integrate. But once I was able to go into the shadow side of it
Mhm.
and release, then a lot of the stuff that I read and implemented through the knowledge aspect of me started to make more sense. Right? But I wasn't able to put the positive on top of the negative, the good feelings on top of the hurt feelings. So it was like putting a hairy lid on a garbage can.
Okay.
So I had a hairy lid on a garbage can.
Mhm. Oh,
Yes, stay with me.
mm,
So I had to like take the hairy lid off and just let the stuff out so that, oh, now I
mhm.
see why. Okay, this makes sense. Blah, blah, blah. So with Danny and I were talking for the call and how, you know, maybe we should be discussing a little bit more on, you know, releasing and getting access to the shadow side. And hi Tia, welcome to the call.
Idea.
And if you really want to
Good to
dive
see you.
deep into the shadow side, a good person to really work with is Teal Swan. I think she's
Mhm.
the master of diving deep into the shadow side. So I don't like to go too deep, but
Mhm.
because you need to be in an environment too where you can actually uh, be caught with the net, like have a net there and catch you, right? So you can free fall
Okay.
into total safety zone. And
Right.
actually, I was talking about that to a friend of mine earlier today because there's been so many explosive stuff happening in her life that and then the explosive person had left for a month, and it gave her a chance to start seeing what was really going on within her. And I said, you know, you got to create an environment where you literally can free fall. Because if you don't create that environment and always having to manage the explosives, you're never going to connect to your heart. So environment is so important. You know, it's like you can't be afraid to go home, or I wonder what I'm going to get when I get home. And then, you know, when it's crap's going on there, then you got to pack your bag to leave again. You're never going to get to your stuff.
Wow.
So
Mhm.
it was a good little conversation about that too. So why it's so important, because years ago when I was in a crazy relationship, I was saying to myself, oh, I can handle this. I have a lot of tools. I do a lot of meditating. I've got self-help development coming out of my yin yang, blah, blah, blah. But what happened is, because I'm very alert in my dreams, I was having like Groundhog Day happening for about 3 months.
Mm.
And I was almost like, I ain't going to bed tonight because like hell, I'm having that dream one more time. Like, what the heck's going on? And it was like Groundhog Day in my dreams. And then I connected with an energy healer, and he literally said to me, he goes, what the heck happened to your brain? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, it's like you went offline. He goes, there's just been a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling. Like, what happened? I went, oh my God. And he goes, yeah. So then he did some energy work in my brain. And and then that night I went back into dreaming, and it was like I went back online. So,
Interesting.
you know, the ego likes to think that, oh, especially for me, I gotta speak for myself, because the ego likes to, for me, because I'm so independent, I can do it myself, I don't need your help, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm very strong. So I had no clue on how much this affected me in the energy field, the mental body, the physical body, the energy field, right? And so when he put me back online, I was like, wow. So we were talking about that earlier today on how,
Interesting.
in order to access your heart, you have to be, especially if you come from trauma, you have to be in an environment that can create safety so you can get access to the heart.
Supports you.
Yeah, where you're not
Yeah.
you're not fearful of opening up, you know, and wondering, oh, how's this going to be taken, or, you know. So, with that, we were just talking about that and how it's important to have good environment, good people around you, good conversations. And
Mhm.
also, if you're going through stuff, to be able to be honest with what's really going on. And I just want to put it out there for everybody. And so what did you think about that, Danny?
Yeah, I mean, I went down much the same path you did. I couldn't get enough books read of me. I couldn't get all of that. Every workshop, I wouldn't call it an addiction. I was just hungry to experience stuff and learn, right? So I went through a lot of that for years, right? I definitely agree with you there, because when we get on the path and we finally have a focus, we go, oh my God, this is exciting. What else can I learn? What else can I experience, right? Oh God, I did it all. So many books, so many workshops, you name the symposium, I was there, right? But it is part of our learning process, right? Moving forward and all that, because this is quite a journey we're on. Really is an amazing journey of discovery. And discovery is discovering who we are. Because it's all here, right? Like you say, it's all about us, what's inside of us. Yes, it's nice to have some other opinion, views from other people. Wonderful, so we can look at it. But it's all about discovering this, right? It's quite a journey. And discovery of our self-awareness, who we are. What are we? What do we do? Why are we here? Right? So it's a journey that takes us many decades, I can find, right? But it's a beautiful place to be. I mean, I wouldn't trade this for anything. I really wouldn't. Being aware and being connected to spirit and having abilities it's my purpose. You know, we're all here to help in our own way, right? We have our skills, we have our knowledge, and there's some many very talented people out there, very gifted people. And I'm in awe of the people of my friends who are amazing, you know, because we all bring something to the table, right? We all have our own separate little gifts, and it's wonderful when we meet like this and we can share our stuff and our gifts and our talents, because it helps someone else there, and then they can also help us, right? It's a wonderful give and take here. Really enjoy this. But you're right, talking about the ego can get in our way. There's no doubt about that. Even for the psychics and the mediums and the healers, we still human, we still have ego. And we have to learn, okay, this is, you know, not in my highest good. And it's that little voice in the back of you saying, you want to be important, you want to be out there, you want to be looked up to, right? You know, this big ego thing. And it's tough for some of us, you know, any of those that have a lot of amazing gifts, it can get to your head, especially if you open up a big YouTube channel or something, you got 30,000 followers, right? And that's where we have that journey of, okay, my ego, you know, tame it down. It's there for a purpose. It does serve a purpose. And whether you want to call that your shadow self or not your shadow self, and for some people, it's a battle. You know, how do I keep this thing in check? Right? It's a tough one sometimes. But I feel your thought was on the heart. And if we can really embrace the heart and open up the heart, the ego can just, you know, take a flight. Right? It's so important to work on the heart and be heart-centered and to bring those energies from source and to really care for others and be kind to others and all of that, and be kind to ourselves, right? Very important, very important. And that's a tough one sometimes, you know. It takes a lot of inward looking and saying, who am I? Why am I here? Okay, ego, you know, I don't really need you. My head is big enough as it is. I don't need you to tell me how great I am or where I'm going or whatever the story, the program our ego is telling us, right? It's time to get that. And I think this is a life journey, getting your ego out in check. I think that's a biggie, a real biggie, right? Because it tends to put its ugly head sometimes, right? And it's for us to keep grounded, we're just here to help. We have our gifts, we have our abilities, and not to let it get to our heads, right? Be humble, whatever the phrase is, right? So that's my take on it, which I agree with everything you said. How do we tame our ego? Now, there's a really good question. That's a really good question. How do we tame our ego?
So I wanted to just add,
I'm sure there's a couple. No, go ahead.
I wanted to add, I was listening to this video and this guy was explaining the level that we are at prior to coming to the planet, the frequency, the vibration that we're at, and how low it has to go in order to come into human form.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's like, you're up at the top of the Grand Canyon and you're going down, 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 down. And you get to the bottom and then you
into
keep
the mud,
dialing it down, 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 down. Like the way he was explaining it, it was like, oh my God. Like we have like this little piece that's just barely hanging on. So I was, and then it just made me realize, wow, like we don't have really much, the cord is not that thick. So that brought more compassion to humanity and what we're really operating with or without, and trying to maneuver our way through this. So we have like this little straw, right? A toothpick of source with us.
It is. It's very dense down here.
Yeah.
You know what spirit shows me some days? What we're like on the other side, and they show me an acrobat. They're flipping and they're doing all these amazing things and on the trapeze and all this. They're so agile and they're so light and skipping. And then we come here, we're walking in 4 feet of water and we can just barely move. And I thought, well, that's a nice analogy where we can't jump, we can't skip, we can't do any of those things the acrobat does. We can just barely move in 4 feet of water. And I thought, what an interesting way to show how dense it is down here.
Yeah.
And what we could do on it, before we came here. I thought that was cute.
Good analogy. So another thing that you mentioned about taming the ego. So taming the ego is first you got to acknowledge your ego, because that's all it wants is acknowledgement. Right? So it's like, yes,
look at me, look at me, I'm here.
Yeah. And that's all it wants you to just say hi all the time, right? And it's always like chatting on you, but you basically have to have a conversation with it going, yeah, I know you're telling me that, but you know what? We're not going to do that one today. And it's almost like you have to continually appease the ego. Okay. Because you can't kick the ego to the curb. It's part of the whole, you get an operating system, you get a body, you get your soul. This is your package, right? So it's not about kicking the ego to the curb or getting rid of it or, because you do need an ego.
No, it's still got to be there. Yes, we do.
You need the ego, to drive your car, to go choose what vegetables you want and stuff like that. But if the ego's out of hand, if it's constantly hijacking you, it's like a 3-year-old that's like totally too much candy, too much candy for the kid, right? So it's constantly holding a tantrum. So that's basically, so you're always having to manage this child that's got way too much candy. And it just wants.
Mhm.
So basically, when you acknowledge the child and the fact that it needs candy, and you give it something else like an apple, and just say, you know what, I'm going to give you this apple right now, and maybe later we can get some candy. And they'll go, oh, okay. It's almost like I gotta negotiate with this character until
That's interesting.
you get it down to a certain level where it's no longer hijacking you now, right? So it calls on you, it has you want to jump in there and do stuff, but now you're more of a, yeah, I see what you're saying, but yeah, no, I'm not going to do that right now. And it's
Yeah.
not like it knows you the best, like it knows your weak spots the best. Okay, so it knows how you have to hear it,
Certainly does.
how different words you need it in, the tone that it needs to come in. Like, this ego knows you on the inside. Okay, and the reason why is because you've been feeding it. And how do you feed it? It's like, yeah, you're right, oh my
That
god,
sounds like fun.
that's what I need,
Mm.
I knew it. Of course, that's what's happening to me. So when you continually acknowledge it on its bullshit, it will say, see, I told you, like, you should stick with me. I know. You're like, you're right. What was I thinking? So when you got to like go, okay, stop. So it's almost like you got to appease the ego and say, okay, I hear what you're saying, but we're just going to have an apple right now, and maybe we'll get a chocolate bar in an hour. So over
Later.
time, and it takes time, you know,
Mhm.
because I was a rager. I loved raging.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I would get crazy. So I had to calm it down. I had to continually calm it down. It's like, yeah, no, we're not going to kill anybody today.
Yeah,
We're not going to take anybody out
exactly.
today. So how does everybody else handle this when ego wants to take over? Does anybody have any suggestions?
Mhm.
Tia has her thinking hat on.
Anybody?
You're muted out there, girl.
Did you see me like rolling my eyes?
Yeah, you're like, okay,
No,
let me
I
think.
couldn't.
I was really thinking.
How
Well,
do I tame that
huh?
wonderful? How do I tame my crazy woman down?
How would I
Yeah.
treat you?
Yeah, how do you tame your witchy self down?
Well, I do I do an avatar practice almost every morning to try to, access source being. When you're operating as source, the ego does get tamed. And it's just the reminder and to take care of all the thoughts and what's running you that is not aligned with who you want to be. That's the practice that I do. And I do it almost every day. And then, I have my breakdowns like I've been having this week, I've got a big opportunity coming up. And I was like deer in the headlights yesterday, like, like, oh, what am I, how am I going to do it? And it's I didn't think of it in the context of like my ego, but yeah, my ego doesn't want to fail. And so it's going to take me down to,
Right.
it's going to take me down to protect me from the whole situation. And I'm like, I said yesterday, and it's funny that you're bringing this up, but like, I don't need protection. Like, I'm okay. Yeah. It was a
Good.
conversation I had with myself yesterday, but it's interesting that you're talking about this tonight.
Yeah, because even for myself, being in a new business, right?
Right.
I'm constantly like, no, you don't want to go. It's like, okay, we're going over there.
Right.
Because you have to keep like, no, we're hanging right. No, I don't want to hang it right. Yeah, we're hanging it right.
Yeah.
So
But
you just like,
when you
drive the car.
Yeah. But you know, it's the ego is just trying to protect you.
Yeah,
Like, let's fail
In some
before we
ways.
start
yeah,
so that we won't go into that situation,
yeah.
right?
What will happen? You'll get rejected. People won't like you. Da, 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 and the whole gamut.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, yeah,
Yeah.
get back into source being for sure. It's like, no,
Right.
no, no.
Access source being, you know,
Mhm.
yeah. It
Words
has.
of
Awesome, yeah.
wisdom.
That was a good example.
Mhm.
So what about anybody else want to mention something? What do you guys do?
I'd love to hear from you guys. I think Charlotte has a comment. I'm feeling it.
Oh dear.
Charlotte
Well,
has a question.
I think the ego is winning in my case.
No?
I'm trying to declutter. This is the year of decluttering, 2024. And so far, I've had a lousy start. And there
Okay,
isn't
well, still
anything stop.
early.
Like there isn't any reason that I can't succeed better than I'm succeeding, except me and my ego or whatever. And I don't know why it doesn't, why my ego's standing in my way or what's sabotaging this situation, or, you know, it's why it's not
Mm.
going a little better than it's going. Because it could be fun, sort of.
Have you asked? Have you asked what's going on?
To declutter.
I wrote about it. I said, "Come on now, what's going on here?" But, you know, and it brings up a lot of emotions when I start going through things.
Yeah.
You know, a lot. This is everything I have in the world, right? From home too, sort of idea. So every time when I start things, it gets emotional real quick. So
Yeah.
Mm.
little issue here.
Charlotte, can I make a recommendation that when you get emotional clearing stuff, because I've had to do this in the past, that
Okay.
perhaps you put on some music that makes you feel good, some music you love that
Mm.
makes you feel good. I
Okay.
found that when I had to sort through my mother's things, it was very, very difficult. And so I played upbeat music that I loved. And I didn't, and I would do as long as I could until I became emotional. And then I would stop and go back to it the next day.
Okay. Okay, sure. I can try that. Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
I have a tip as well, and that is wear red clothes. Because for some reason, the stagnant energy that gets gathered around the stuck stuff doesn't stick as easily to red, and it kind of powers you forward. So I noticed when I did my decluttering that the days, again, exactly as Elva says, play the right kind of music, wear red, and if possible, have a shower before you start. Because that way you're clean and none of the stuck energy is going to stick to you.
Okay.
But it is a
Mm.
process. It really is. Good luck.
Okay. Thanks so much. Yeah. I'm thinking, do I have anything red? Okay. I'll
And,
put some-
Charlotte,
Lipstick, anything.
can I add something here, Charlotte?
Absolutely.
Because I've done a lot of professional organizing for people, and I've gone through a whole mess and asked Lucy came and helped me. But if you have a
Runs.
friend, or someone, even if someone comes and sits with you and it doesn't matter if they do anything, another person there to me makes all the difference. And right now I've been decluttering a hoarder's house for a year. I've been working on it.
Oh my goodness.
It's very
Wow.
emotional stuff. And,
Yeah.
if you want to call me sometime, outside of this, just to, talk to you about it, because I went through it myself, which is why, I'm a designer. So I like easily moved into then helping other people as I moved through it myself. but people shed a lot of tears. It's very normal, and
Okay,
yeah, I'd be happy to help any way I can.
okay, great. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Part of that is too, that I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect
Right,
emotional,
yeah,
stuff. It's just stuff.
yeah. I love the idea about the wearing the red in the music and the shot. There's just a lot. There's so many levels to this whole thing. I hadn't heard that before, but I will definitely try those things too.
Mm, yeah, yeah,
People.
great
But
suggestion.
yeah, you don't even know why. I mean, it even happens to me sometimes that I'm like 90% through the move, and then I've got one space that's like that, and then I'll get all emotional, and you don't even know why. It doesn't matter why. But
Yeah.
but the presence of another person, even if it's on Zoom, it helps.
Okay, cool. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Yep, that's great. That's what,
I'm not done, Charlotte.
oh,
That was my mother's stuff. I've got a long ways to go. I downsized my house and I'm not done, but that
Ah.
was the beginning.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it took me 3 years. So be gentle with yourself and keep going. Like, don't
Mhm.
expect instant results.
Wow.
3 years,
Right.
but now I live out. I've been traveling for 14 months and I live out of really a tiny bag. It's really tiny, and it's like, oh, it's so much easier to live with nothing. It really is. Like, what's on the other side is so worth the keeping going to get to. And the thing is, you won't get there unless you keep going. So it's that double-edged sword. So
Yeah.
don't give up. Take the
Okay.
help. Keep going.
Oh.
Who is talking? I can't. Oh, Helen?
Helen, yeah, sorry, it's
It's
dark
dark
here. You
where
can
she
Looks
only
like a
just
cat.
Yeah.
Cat
Yeah,
with
sorry.
yellow
That's why I
eyes.
just
you can
stay
see
off
her
camera because it's dark.
glowing eyes there. Looks like a raccoon with glowing eyes.
Now she's smiling. Now the cat's smiling. Oh my God.
Now you can see my teeth. Yay.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
those are really great suggestions.
Ideas.
Amazing suggestions. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it.
Charlotte, are you into essential oils or anything like
Uh,
that?
No, I'm not. No,
How about incense?
no, not that either. Well, although I do
I
have,
find, I don't know if it's feng shui or not, but I do essential oils some days, and I don't know, it just lifts my spirits. That beautiful aroma
Yeah.
just seems to make me feel better in my small place.
okay,
Just a thought.
Yep.
Or the sticks, the incense sticks.
right, yeah. What kind of
That's just
essential oil
coming to me.
do you like? Do you prefer?
I'm sorry.
What kind of essential oil would you use?
I use a lot of one. Believe is amazing. Oh my God, is that an amazing aroma? And there's purification. Actually, purification is a very good one for cleaning out stuck energy in a house.
Wow.
Okay, Yeah.
Purification. Now I'm talking Young Living. I don't know if
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
else makes that formula, but I'm pretty sure Young Living.
Okay, Okay.
Believe is an amazing smell, aroma. It's just very uplifting because you want to believe in yourself. And purification does what it says. It purifies.
okay, perfect, great. Yeah,
Really positive, uplifting, because our olfactory, I don't know how to pronounce olfactory senses, we remember smells before anything else. Did you know that?
okay,
You will remember a burning event 40 years ago. Because the smell is really connected to your memory.
Hmm.
Did you know that?
okay,
So just a suggestion, something that's an uplifting aroma, along with wearing red and some music, and there you go.
yep, okay,
So
You
you
have-
can also do bay leaves. Take 2 or 3 bay leaves and you can burn bay leaves, and bay leaves purify and cleanse. So if you don't have
There you go.
anything else in the house, you got bay leaves.
yeah, I do, yeah,
Mm.
okay.
There you
Mhm.
go.
Well, And then keep
There
them
you
out of
go.
the soup.
I came home yesterday, and as soon as I walked up the stairs here, both cats just went, I don't know, high alert. They all went both on high alert. I went, uh-oh.
What's
And
going
they were
on
like
here?
all over the place, high alert, staring at everything, and just checking. And I'm like, okay. So I had she has some sweetgrass here.
Mm.
And I went, okay, let's sage the place. Right away. I'm like clearing out all the energies, whatever I brought in, just cleared it
Yeah.
out and increased the light. And then everything just calmed right down again. But wow. I was like, wow, it's good to have cats. I was
Yep,
like, you know,
sage
I'm
in
your
getting
house.
to appreciate the felines. And once you get to know their personality and why they do what they do, and then wow, it was so like it was intense when I came in. I'm like, oh, it was like, what the heck did I bring?
Very
with me? I
interesting
better
creatures.
clear that out immediately.
Hmm.
So sage, yeah. So burning, I like vanilla too, vanilla and lavender. Vanilla candles,
Lavender's a
lavender.
nice one.
Mhm. So I hope that helps.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. That's great.
See, you needed to speak up, Charlotte.
Yeah. I guess
Danny, how did
I
you
guess I
know?
got no excuse now, eh?
I just knew.
Oh, you can always have an excuse.
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Yeah.
That's our ego talking us down,
Yeah. It's already
right?
kicking in. It's already kicking in, trying to pull me back. Nope.
And you
tomorrow-
know, on the little sales thing we get on every morning at 8 a.m., we watched a video on habits, you know, creating habits. But sometimes you can't go to the gym an hour a day. Sometimes, you know, they're too big. It's too big of a habit to start right out of the gate,
Right.
right? So you got to start with small habits, like just do one push-up or just do, you know, one phone call
Right.
or just write out or do a 2-minute meditation versus 20-minute or 30-minute meditation every day. It's like, oh, 20 minutes, I have to be there in 25 minutes. I can't do a meditation. So screw it. So you don't do nothing, right? So, and that's what
Right.
I've had to do in this new career is like, well, my minimal amount is this, what I'm willing to
That's it.
minimally do. And that's what I've been doing. I've been hitting that minimal amount, right?
Right.
And
Right.
I know that, you know, 3 phone calls when I used to make 150 phone calls a day.
Wow.
So my minimal is like, let's see, just like 3. It's like 3. Come on. No. It's like, yeah. Let's see how far you get. Just doing 3. And you know what? I'm just having fun with it. It's like I'm not beating myself up. It's like, oh, you hit it.
No pressure. It eliminates the pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
'cause I used to be crazy, like
Like
150
for
phone calls a
you,
day.
Charlotte, you should say, well, I'm only going to do 20 minutes today. That's it.
Yeah,
I was
And see
thinking
how
30.
much you could
I
get
was
done in
thinking
20
30.
minutes.
Yeah.
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 30,
Good idea.
and
Yep.
say that's my time limit. And I'm
Mhm.
going to get as much done as I can in 30 minutes, and then I'm going to break.
Or as people that are trying to read a book, right? It's like, oh, I got to read this book by the end of the week. Read 1 page a day. Just read 1 page a day. Right?
Get to
It's like when we came into the 12-step program, they give you this big book and it's like, you know, it's this big thick thing. It's like, can you read? It's not you know, you're going to read this much. No, they ask you, can you read? Yeah, I can read. Great. 1 page. It's like, what do you mean? I can't like, no. No, don't read anymore. Just read 1 page.
My
And that's
library
how they-
only loans me books for 21 days, so I need to be borrowing really skinny books if I'm only going to read a page a day.
Yeah. Emmett Fox.
True.
What's that? The Sermon on the Mount or Ogmandino's. These are 21-day books. They're little tiny things.
There you go.
So awesome. Anyone else want to say something or
Yes.
open it up? What's another thing that people are struggling with?
So,
Excellent.
okay, would ego hold you back from moving forward?
Sorry, what was that?
Would ego hold you back from moving forward, do you think?
Absolutely.
Big time. You? Does it ego hold you
Whether
back, Danny?
it's fear or you're not good enough, you can't get that job. Why even bother applying, you know?
Right. But it's protection. It's protecting you from
It is.
what happened in the past.
I'm getting hurt.
Mhm.
Yeah. When
Yep.
you know, I tell myself all the
Agreed.
time, you don't need protection. You don't,
got
I
the
don't
light.
need protection.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I say that too. It's like,
very true.
we're good. We don't
Yeah.
need protection. I'm
Yeah.
not a little girl anymore. There's no war zone going on, that you're not in no war zone or something, or you don't, nobody's coming to kill you.
Right.
Yeah. So I have to constantly remind them. It's like, no, we're okay. And it's really nonsense. Like, you
It
imagine
serves a
living in another
purpose.
country where you're actually were in a war zone
Yeah.
and the war is happening in your own
Wow.
head. Like, that's
Wow.
crazy stuff.
That
So a
would
long
be.
time ago, I was at a seminar and they said, people that are in wheelchairs or they're missing a limb or they're blind or,
Mhm.
all this stuff, they're considered handicapped, right? And they have a handicap. They're not considered handicapped. They have a handicap. And then, so the speaker would go on about, so you could literally see their handicap. You could see what they're,
Right.
missing, not being able to use. And you have your
Mhm.
sight. You have both arms, both legs. So what is your handicap? And so I was like,
Saying it.
what's stopping you
That's
from
right.
moving forward? When you have both legs, both arms, both eyes. So
Usually fear. Right. What
So
would Avatar do?
I can say
What?
a little bit. So Lucy just talk about addicted thinking, chasing. That's me at that stage. But I feel very thankful for you guys talking your story, how long you have been on this path, so many years. So it's quiet my mind. Let me how to say get not in that hurry. Every day just think make progress, make progress. My body feel this, I must, my third eye feel that. And now I don't have any progress. One time I was, how to say, argue with Cornelius, say I don't have progress. So it's very helpful for me to listen to you guys. So thank you very much, because I was really, really concerned with make progress. Every day, think what I have any progress here and there and there. Otherwise, I feel very bad. Somebody say, "Oh, I have make, I have feel this, I have made this progress." Then I will get happy for them. At the same time, blame myself. So. Listen to your guys, your story, so many years. So now I'm much better. Not blame myself to make great progress. So that's one I think
Yeah.
really, really, really helpful. Yeah. And also I'm also doing declutter. Probably I have one, not a truck, but one big SUV back trunk of books. I threw all of those away. Walmart. Yeah, other thing. Gradually, somebody said 3 years, but I did 1 year. I guess still have a lot to do. Yeah. Thank you guys for help. Make my
Oh,
mind
you're welcome.
more accept myself, not just hurry, and yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was really great what you said, because because there's times where we're not feeling we're making great strides, and then ego comes out, more beatings, right? Where it's like,
More
wait a minute,
lashes.
you know, and it's like, no, that's not true. It's not true, right? Because there's like, you move, integrate, move, integrate, move, integrate, move, integrate, right? And sometimes you just shoot out and you're like, wow, you know, and other times
Exactly.
it's time to rest. And you don't know, it's like, okay, I don't know what's happening. I'm just sitting here. It's like, no, there's a lot going on.
There
You
always is.
just don't know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just the ego, you know, you finally got still, and now your ego's like, oh, here's my chance. You finally stopped long enough so I can bugger some more.
Mhm.
But yeah, just another program coming up. So I was told this a
Good
long
for
time
you.
ago, wow, you're right on schedule. I'd be like, I was freaking out. Like I was like a cat hanging off the chandeliers, like freaking out. And this person would be like, oh, you're right on schedule. Everything is just perfect the way it is. And I'm like, you obviously do not understand the situation. It's like, you are nuts. And you know, over time, when I look back on it, I get that it was just perfect the way it was happening. That's what had to
Mhm.
happen. And I was coming through at the speed that I had to come through at, you know, and today I apply the same information. Like if I don't feel like I'm going fast enough, or it's like, come on, Lucy, why are you only making 3 calls a day? Like, what are you doing? Right. And it's like,
Mhm.
it's the way it is. And you know, and I don't have to beat myself up about it. So
Right.
and I
That's
think,
it. Being kind to yourself. It's very
yeah, and
important.
that's what I was just going to say. Like I think the
Yeah.
kindness and love, self-love and kindness has increased versus, you know, and the ego has calmed down a lot. So it's like
Yes.
flipped. The scales have flipped, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I look back, I realized actually I made a lot of progress. Just how you said, I was like, I didn't. Life is very kind to me, so it's good. But I don't didn't have this great gratitude for everything. And I think that's that these 2 years I learned a lot to be thankful for everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I wrote in the email. And it's about, you know, being in present time, because that's when the universe can actually deliver, is when you're in present time, or when you're asking from present time. And in present
Oh,
time,
that's my weeks. I always live in the past or future,
mhm,
never right now.
right?
Because yeah, I know. Always in a hurry. Either think
Mm,
past or plan for the future, especially to do this, to do that, to do this, have 2 pages, or even more, everything. So yeah, exactly. Now I'm learning just to sit down, do nothing, and be quiet, not in a hurry, because it's a horrible. Because if I sit here 30 minutes, didn't do anything, I will feel very good, feel so horrible. Why you didn't do anything? That's me.
yeah, that's the one I'm working on. It's like, no, you're only allowed to read 1 page. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I've read hundreds and hundreds of books. How can I nope, 1 page. Okay, close the book. It's like, what? And then just listen to your inside screaming.
More.
Thank you. Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, and it's almost like you have to play with yourself that way. It's like, oh, I'm gonna freak my ego right out today. We're only gonna make 2 phone calls and leave.
And smile about it.
And then just completely not feel productive all day, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's, you know, that's how I measured me being a really good person, is the amount of productivity. It was my measuring stick,
Mhm.
right?
Mm.
So I had to keep letting go of the measuring stick, and I'm already a good person whether I do anything today or not. I'm
Yes.
already good enough. So it was really like, yeah.
No,
So
true.
it's good. And even the little amount of time that
Exactly.
we've known you, June, it's like you've done a lot of shifting.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Glad
You're
you're
right on
here.
schedule. Right on schedule, and everything's just perfect the
Yes,
way
you
it
are.
is.
I'm-
How's that
Thank
feel?
you.
Yeah, that was the line I had to adopt. Everything is right on schedule. Otherwise, it
It
would be
is.
different.
And that takes
So
the
it's not
pressure
different.
off, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's right on schedule. It's like, what are you talking
Takes the
about?
pressure off.
But no, if it would have been, if it's supposed to be different, it would be different. But it's not different. So it is
That's
what it
right.
is. Otherwise, it would be something else. So because it's not something else, then it's not. It is what it is. And that's what it is. So when you
It's
try to
in
get
perfect
twisted up and like try and not make it what it is, but it is. Ah, us human
You're like
beings.
walking upstream. I just had that vision of walking upstream. That doesn't work well.
With skis, like going downhill.
There you go.
So yeah, so
That's a
I'm
good
just
one.
calling to do a little bit of a meditation now.
Mhm.
Does anybody else want to say something?
Before we go.
All right.
Okay, let's do that.
So yeah, so how are you feeling about that, Danny? What is it that you're called to do? Are you called to do anything? Are you called to bring anyone in?
No, I feel the need for the meditation, and what is the purpose of what's the intention of this meditation? To help us understand that all the answers are within us, number one, right? We don't have to seek it outwards. We have it all here. And I guess number two is this ego thing, that to put it in its place and know that we're loved, we care for ourselves, and our ego's only there to help when it's needed, right? In a positive way only, not a negative way. Unless there's one more thing you'd like to add to the intention of the meditation.
Also, what I heard too, it's, you know, Atlanteans and other beings, that we always view them as like higher vibrating, all knowing, or they know more, or they got their shit together, right? And the reason why that they are operating in more unison, or they have better flow, or you know, the wisdom, love, all this stuff, is because they don't have the belief of separation from themselves and source. So that's what makes us more higher abilities, higher connection, stronger connection, is when we let go of the fact that we're disconnected. Let go of the fact that we're not one, and we are one. So the more we get into how we are one, you are source, you are higher self, you are love, you are light, you know, and I don't know, there was a while back when I was just saying everything. I am this, I am this, I am this, I am like successful, I am happy, I'm like, I love relationships,
Right.
you know, I travel all over the world, and kept it in present time, present time, present time. And I would say it to myself all the time. And within 6 months, I made like $100,000. I went to Africa, got a new car, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what the heck?
Wow.
This stuff works. I mean, to create a new life is I am right here, right now. I am happy. I am successful. I am free flowing. I am connected. I am source. In present time, just charges you right up. And
It is.
I
The
got,
I am is such a powerful phrase.
yeah, and I even have to get back to doing it on a like ongoing basis. And like it was said earlier, Tia, you know, connecting with source being. So that's the difference. Like as human beings, the game is to have you believe that you're disconnected. When the
No.
more you understand that you're not disconnected, you are source. Okay. Your abilities come
You
online
are love.
a lot more, and you're not grappling with ego as much. So you're more aligned to doing what needs to be done in front of you with power, with enjoyment, with happiness, with whatever, all of your beautiful,
Without resistance.
without resistance. Yeah. So
Not
that's, I
resisting it.
believe, is the trick. When I heard that, it was just like, oh my God, that's it. And I know that this year, I think by springtime, we're going to get hit with so many solar flares coming up to spring, that they are mentioning how that feeling of oneness is going to be felt.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Bring it on.
because
Wow.
that feeling of
We have lots
oneness,
of intent.
yeah. So that feeling of
Yes.
oneness is home. You know, you just come home. And
Yeah.
so that's the feeling that a lot of starseeds, you know, people on the planet that are the light, they know they are awake and stuff like that. There's always this, you know, feeling of gotta get home, gotta get home. Yeah, so I think we can add that to the meditation.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, did you want to start it off, Danny?
Well, I'll just create the space and then you can take over.
Sure.
You're so good at your meditations.
All right,
So
so
we
let's
call on all that.
Yeah,
Yep.
let's just sit back
Get
and
comfortable where you are.
you're gonna take in
Take a
some,
couple of deep breaths,
yeah. All right, you got it.
cleansing breaths. We call on each and every one of our higher selves and soul essence to be here with us, to assist us in this information of connecting to source more than we might need to be or have to be. That we are surrounded and supported at all times. That the light of the universe and the Father, Mother, Creator God is here with us at this time, surrounding us in her presence of light and connection and the I am energy, that we are always supported, that we're always cared for, we're always on the right path at all times. And nothing is beyond us. We have the power to do whatever we wish in our lives and in creation. That we have the abilities, that life can be beautiful and loving and happy. That it's all here for us now. We just have to connect to it and allow it to happen. And let go of anything that may be holding us back, whether it be issues or ego. Let it go. Let it go. For we are fully supported and we are fully cared for at all times. And we thank the universe for surrounding us all in light here and protection at this time, and this ability to connect to source in a greater way. Thank you.
And we're also sensing that our energy field that is around us is circling in a clockwise formation, starting at our feet with a very small opening. And as it spirals around you, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, like a little tornado. Moving in a clockwise circular, surrounding your body, swirling up. So moving all your energies, clearing out everything in your energy field, clearing out any old programs, old belief systems, letting go of old hurts. And as it continually circles around your body, like you're standing in the eye of the storm, and its vortex is surrounding your body and it's going up and up and up. And as it gets higher and higher, it gets wider and wider. So we're beautiful little vortexes. All right. So we're aligning all the energy centers as this is happening, clearing out any stuck energy. Wow, this is really opening up all the energy centers very gently. And every vortex is moving at the perfect speed with all the colors in it, the pinks and the purples and the blues spiraling around you. It's very connected down into inner earth. Oh, pulling up inner earth vibration and moving it through your centers, through your energy centers, up your root chakra, the sacral, the solar, into the heart, and just expanding around the shoulders and opening up the throat, gently moving around you. And also feeling the warmth and all the emotions. So there's a lot of love moving around you. There's a lot of comfort, support. like a nice, like your favorite blanket. It's fluffy. It smells great. It's comforting. This is how this vortex is wrapping around you. And it's releasing everything that's ready to go at this time, moving it out into the ethers, and also connecting to higher beings, galactic beings, all the way up into solar energy. Ah. Beautiful energy. So if you can move this energy, spiraling vortex energy, widen it, have it expand out an extra foot out from around you. And as you do that, you're going to connect into the heart center, the equilibrium, the balancer. The connector. So we keep increasing the energy, keep expanding it another foot. So now you have a big vortex, nice and easy, clearing out your energy field. Increasing the vibration of your energy centers and also staying plugged into the heart center. So being the eye in the storm feeling. You are the grounding rod, the receiver. As the big energy vortex clears everything out around you, in your energy field, in your mental body, in your etheric body, in your aura. And as you be the grounding rod, you're the receiver, the connector. Connecting to higher frequencies, correct information, the truth. So we have a connection going on and we have a clearing happening. So the upgrading is happening, and the more you open up the circle, open up the vortex, slowly expand, allow it to circle around and clear out, give it permission to take whatever is needing, whatever is ready to go at this time. Any attachments. Let go of the thinking. How you're supposed to figure this out. What am I supposed to do about this? How am I going to get through this? Let go of all that thinking. Just let the energy circle, your little vortex. It's not little anymore. It's pretty big. Just allow it to bring energy through the hemispheres of the brain, pineal, hypothalamus, the third eye, and wash away all the density. In your grounding rod that's going right up through your head, right up into the galactic being, space, universe, bringing in a higher frequency of truth. bringing in pure joy, pure happiness. Increasing compassion for yourself. You are moving at the right speed. Being allowing and open. To allowing your guides, your higher self, and everyone that's working on your behalf here supporting you, to allow them to help you. Have communication. There's a communication if you're one to hear messages. It's a communication that bypasses the mind, bypasses your own thinking. Or maybe you want to increase the knowingness. It's like, oh, I knew that. Or maybe you're able to, maybe you want to be able to see the visions clearer. When they come in, it's like, you know why they came in. It's like, oh, I saw that. We all have it. So bathing in the healing of this vortex. Allowing the upgrades to take place. Being okay with the surrendering. Just surrender. Let go of the resistance. Maybe you're one to see colors, the light, the pinks and the blues and the purples, the yellows. Maybe you can hear the tones. And connecting to your intention. And if you're not sure, it's I am that I am. Simple. I am here. I am present. So we all all of us will send out kindness and love to the planet, to everyone else that is doing this type of work, connecting in the web. I see it as a web with little lights everywhere, all over the planet. Everybody's doing their part in releasing everything that's in the bodies, in the minds, to move us forward in humanity. So just allow your love and your kindness, compassion, healing to wrap the planet, wrap each other. And working side by side with all the beings that are here to assist. Excellent. All right. So on the count of 3, we're going to slowly come back. And just walk around with your vortex spinning all day long tomorrow. Bang into people and just love on them. That's funny. You're like, oh,
Sure.
sorry.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. Did I just love on you?
Yep. Mhm.
So take in a couple of deep breaths and send
Mhm.
yourself gratitude and love and for being here and giving you this time, allowing yourself to be here
Mhm.
and do this for yourself,
That's right.
because you are the most important person in your life. And here
Certainly
comes
are.
the magic. Look at this magic
Oh.
cat.
Mhm.
So thank you everyone for being here. And if you've
Thank
gone to
you.
Thank
sleep,
you.
have a
Thank you.
great sleep
Thank you.
tonight.
Mm.
Thank you for all the shares.
Wonderful to have you all.
You guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Danny and Lucy. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And happy full moon.
Yeah.
Happy 24/24.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Full moon.
Enjoy.
All right, we'll talk to you. I feel like Cornelius right now.
See you
So
again.
that's a 24, 24. The 3 is an angel number, right?
The 3?
What is?
Is 3 an angel number?
Yeah, I believe if you have 333, the angels are with you. and
333,
guiding
yeah.
you.
2424, that's 12. And 2 and 1 is 3, so it's an angel day.
Ah,
There we go.
good.
Okay.
All right,
Very
have a good
good.
night,
Good to see
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Night.
Thank you.
Night.
Bye.